Hello. So in the early 1990s, what do I do?
Click the mouse.
Okay. So in the early 1990s, the World Wide Web was a wide open frontier. I had just graduated from OCAD, OCA, and I just finished an interactive multimedia program at Digital Media Studio, where I spent months learning the state-of-the-art technology, authoring CD-ROMs. They never taught us anything about HTML. Michael Alstead asked me to participate in an art exhibition he was curating called On Humankind. So I decided to create a website. I learned HTML by copying the page source from sites I liked into a text editor. I changed something on the page and used the browser to look at my new creation to see what had changed. It was painstaking. So I decided to go to a bookstore to see if I could find a book on HTML. Well, that's where I met Mike Steventon. He had just arrived in Toronto after living in the UK for years. And since we were both looking at HTML books, we struck up a conversation. And he asked me if I knew about the legendary place he'd heard about, InterAccess. We became instant friends. We chatted our way through the entire collection of HTML books at the world's biggest bookstore. They spanned exactly half a shelf. There were 5 books. We read them all. Jim Ruxton was my partner in those days, so thanks to him, I was an early adopter of the internet. When I bought my first computer, Rob Ehrlich sat in our living room configuring it for hours. It was a 486. It had 8 megs of RAM. So thanks to that computer, we explored BBSs, MUDs, Moos, Gopher Space. We used Pine for email. You really had to use your imagination back then, because nothing was visually appealing. That is until Netscape 1.0. And that's when we finally got inline graphics and colored backgrounds. In 1997, Tom Leonhardt asked me to co-curate an exhibition with him at InterAccess for the Images Festival. It was called Ice Flow, a spring breakup of Canadian web art. We searched high and low across Canada for artists who made web work. We found a virtual community, a corporate parody, a dream bank, and weather bots. This is what is left of all the work we did back in those days.